So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trauma Theory. We've got Smalling to talk about today because before the Salisbury game, Smalling actually said some very good things about a potential staying at Roma future. In fact, I'm going to read you what he said in this live stream. But one of the contracts which we have to sort out is without a doubt Smalling's contract. I think there are two players right now that deserve a good, well done research on how to kind of develop their contract. The two players are Dybala and Smalling. I'm saying Dybala because the release clause is scary. The release clause, if you compare the amount of money any team could spend to buy Dybala using that release clause, if you compare that release clause to the amount of performances, the amount of goals, and how Dybala is playing this season, it really makes no sense. So Roma is without a doubt working to eliminate that release clause, and the second they eliminate that release clause on Dybala's contract, then they'd also offer him higher wages for him to convince him to stay at the club. But not going to speak about Dybala today. I want to focus on Smalling, just because Smalling is coming from, again, amazing performances in defence, but not just that. He's coming from a crucial interview after that Salisbury game, which in fact, I'm going to start off this live stream by reading the interview he had. So the journalist said, Roma loves you. The city of Rome loves you. The fans love you. Are you staying in the future? And this is what Smalling said. I'm very confident, but now I'm focused on this season's goals. It's true that I have an option for next year, but I hope to stay here beyond next season too. And that's that's something good. That's something good because it kind of puts away every single doubt of Smalling not wanting to stay at Roma. There was, in my opinion, there was never an option of Smalling not wanting to stay here. The problem with Smalling, and in my opinion, was not the fact that he didn't want to stay here anymore, was maybe linked to top four. Due to the fact that Smalling is not a freshman. He is coming towards the end of his career. He'll probably have 2, 3, maybe max 4 years until the day he'll retire. It's understandable that Smalling maybe wants one last dance, one last challenge, and he maybe wants that last challenge in top four and in the Champions League. And I think that's something which is crucial in Smalling's contract. But after I heard what Smalling said before that Salisbury game, then I have a feeling it's not linked to top four. I just think it's linked to what Roma will be willing to offer him. Now, I've been doing my own research about Smalling, and apparently what so many Roma sources are saying that Smalling is asking for a double-year contract. So he wants a 2-year contract extension, and he maybe wants a little slight increase in wages. To be fair, when a player asks and demands an increase in wages, I'm kind of the first one to ask myself, does he really deserve that increase in wages? And to be fair, Smalling is one of the few players that really does deserve that increase in wages because of the consistency he's been playing, because of the amount of games he's been playing, and because of the amount of crucial moments that he has contributed to this season. If it wasn't for Smalling, I think our defense would not be this solid. And I'm not trying to, discredit Mancini and Ibanez, because I think Mancini and Ibanez have gone through so much, and the credit we should give to them is very, very high. But I do think that Mancini and Ibanez rotate fully on Smalling. The experience that Smalling brings, having played in the Premier League, having played in big clubs around big players, just that sense of position, just that good anticipation, knowing when to slide tackle, avoiding yellow cards. Smalling knows how to do that. And one of the reasons why Mancini and Ibanez are playing so well lately is partly due to Smalling's presence. So if there's one player which does deserve that increase in wages, not Zaniolo, it's Chris Smalling. I think there are multiple players which could deserve it, but Smalling definitely deserves it. And if the trigger thing about Smalling's future is the increase in wages, then I would rather give him, obviously, an increase in wages and kind of keep him. Because Smalling is crucial. I think the next 2, 3, maybe 4, but I'm kind of aware that 4 years is a lot. So how old is Smalling again? Let's quickly check. Smalling's 33 if I'm not wrong. Smalling's 33. 4 years is 37. To be fair, there were a few exceptions which play football since until a very old age. Totti, Ibrahimovic, not every player has the physical capacities of being able to play until the 37, the 38 and the 39s, maybe the 40s too. So without a doubt, I think Smalling will have 2 for sure, maybe 3 more years. And in the next 2 years, I think our defense has to focus on Chris Smalling. Our defense in the next 2 years has to be built around Chris Smalling. And people will say he's old, but it's the experience guy. It's the experience in him which makes the difference. Because he's not that fast. But the reason why he's so crucial is because he's got that experience. And I've said it 5 minutes ago. Ibanez and Mancini play like this because of Smalling. And there has been a massive step up in our defensive section this season. And I think much of it has to do with Smalling. So, Smalling, next 2 years, I definitely think our defense has to be built around Smalling. Ibanez and Mancini too. But obviously I think we need other players too. But I think Smalling's, especially after what he said, I think we are very close in renewing his contract. We just have to avoid, because I know Premier League clubs are interested in him. There were rumours of Inter Milan being interested in him. But apparently I'm reading Inter Milan have kind of withdrew themselves from this race. So the fear right now is if Premier League clubs want to bring him back in his own country. And I know West Ham, Leicester, Everton, and there was one last team which I read about, are all interested in Smalling. To be fair, Roma's better than Leicester, Roma's better than Everton, Roma's better than West Ham, and Roma's probably better than the last team. So Smalling, I understand you want to challenge in your last, to kind of enjoy. You only live once, so I totally understand if Smalling wants to play Champions League, but I will not accept Smalling leaving Roma and then going to a club like Everton, who is 3 years now, who's been saved from relegation by a miracle. So if he goes to clubs like Arsenal, Man United, Inter Milan themselves, I can understand it. But I think Smalling's future is linked with Roma, especially after what he said. I think Smalling's future is linked with Roma. And I think we will see Smalling next season. And look, one of the things we need next season will be trying our best to win the league. We need good investments to do that. To follow a good plan, which is Mourinho's plan, which is win a trophy in the first year, get top 4 in the second year, and try to win the league in the third year. To follow this plan and to successfully follow the criteria of this plan, you need good investment. And I genuinely think that in our defensive section this summer, I don't think we need massive, I don't think we need to spend millions and millions of money on our defense. But we do need a good centre-back. I think Smalling, Mancini and Ibanez are all to keep. We need a good centre-back. A solid centre-back. A physical centre-back. Similar characteristics to Ibanez, Mancini and Smalling. Now, if we get top 4, then I know who my favourite pick is. I've said this in a few weeks' videos. It's Kalidou Koulibaly from Chelsea. They're inevitably going to sell him this summer. If we get top 4, I think it's a very feasible deal. And if we have Smalling, Koulibaly, Ibanez, Mancini, then we're speaking serious things. We have to buy a defender, but our defense has been playing well, and I think our defense needs a lot of credit because, especially at home this season, we are literally a fort. It's very hard to score at the Olimpico this season. We're coming from a series of consecutive home games clean sheets. Salzburg, Verona, I think it's 5 or 6 if I'm not wrong. We have to be better away from home, but the second we can overall concede less goals, I think our defense, and this season's tactics are definitely more defensive due to the fact that we concede less and we score we concede less and we score less goals. We are definitely a more defensive team than an offensive team, but that's just the way we are. And I think due to the fact that Mourinho has kind of implanted some very good defensive tactics in this team, I think we also need some good defensive investments, and I think someone under the likes of Koulibaly would be amazing for Roma in the summer. Obviously, if we get top four, but we're totally in the race to get top four. We're in the next round of Europa League, so yeah, I think as things stand, I think it's pretty doable. So yeah, would you consider Smalling a Roma legend? Yes. I mean, not an all-time starting 11 player, because, let's not forget we had the likes of Cafu, Maicon, Aldair, Samuel. We had these kind of players. So obviously he's not going to be in my all-time starting 11, but he's definitely a legend. He's played well every single match he played. I cannot remember a match Smalling played and Smalling bottling that match. That release clause is a joke. Yeah, Dybala's release clause is a joke indeed. But I think we'll work on it. And one of the next future objectives of the ownership is actually to really eliminate that release clause and give him an increase in wages. I think as much as the defensive section in these next 2 years has to be built around Smalling, our midfielder creative section has to be built around Dybala. Because the second you have Dybala, who's fit and plays like he played against Salzburg, and then you add someone like Ziyech next to him, and maybe if we get top four, you also add another player, maybe like a War next to him, that's when we're really going to start speaking business. Because if Dybala's not carrying the team, but if we give Dybala someone like Ziyech, I think, gold to our eyes. And yeah. Main investment needs to be in the defense to move from 3-5-2 to 4-3-3, says Spandan. Yeah, I agree. I think we need more investments to kind of turn into that way. But yeah. So yeah, that's the Smalling. I mean, let me know in the live chat. One player, one defensive centre back who you want, realistic obviously, who you want to put next to Smalling, Ibanez and Mancini. Because again, I think Llorente will leave at the end of the season. I mean, has he ever even played? Llorente was, I think it was one of those signings, right? I don't want to say useless, because at the end of the day, I've never seen him play. So I am in no position whatsoever to give a good understanding on how Llorente plays. And I'm not going to do so for his own respect, because I genuinely have never seen him play. But I think Llorente has been one of those strategic signings to show everyone that at the end of the day, we did buy someone in the January window. Because, you see, when it comes to a visual point of view, this is kind of marketing, right? Visual point of view, if we hadn't bought Llorente, then we would have ended the January window with 0 players bought. The fact that we bought Llorente cheap on loan means that no one can say we didn't buy anyone. If you see what I mean, right? It's been one of those strategic signings that Thiago Pinto has done, so that, in a way, Mourinho can't really say that the ownership didn't buy anyone in January, because they did buy one player. So it was really one of those... You know when you go to a supermarket, right? And there's a box of bread, and then you look at the price of the box of bread, and it's like €2.99. And you're like, why the hell isn't that $3? It's because people see that 2.99 and they go like, wow, that's way cheaper than seeing a 3. I think the Llorente deal was very similar to this, so that Mourinho can't say we didn't buy anyone. But we did buy one player, even if he's a shit player, but we don't know. I can't really say he's a shit player because I've never seen him play. And the fact that it was a last day, kind of deadline day window, really explains that. Thiago Pinto's done that to not just Mourinho, but to show the fans that, at least I bought one player in the window. So people can't say I just didn't buy anyone. Thiago Pinto mind. But yeah, look, I think Llorente look, I think Llorente is not getting any game time because our defense has been playing too well. Our defense has been playing really solid. You have to give credit to Mancini. I've discussed it yesterday in the match reaction. Mancini looks like a completely different player. Ibanez the same. Last season, Mancini and Ibanez were two of the biggest liabilities in the team. This season, they have turned things around. So that's something to consider. Ibanez, I think after this season, if he keeps this attitude, this consistency, if he hadn't done that Derby mistake, if he continues like this, I think in June Ibanez will be worth 60 million euros. And I think anyone who wants Ibanez has to pay, maybe not 60, 50 million euros. He's young, he's fast, he's physical, he's got the balls. You know how he loses his position and sometimes he just launches himself on the ball? That's balls. That's balls. That's balls. You don't see... that's something you don't see Smalling do. Ibanez got balls. I think Ibanez... Now maybe Mancini, because Mancini's got that fierce captain leadership. But Mancini... You see, one of the things which really I like about our defence is that they've got the balls. And defenders need balls. If you want to be a successful defender, you need to be brave. And Mancini and Ibanez, and Smalling too, but I think Mancini and Ibanez especially, are brave. They fight. They dive. They launch themselves onto a player. They risk breaking their head apart. But they do it. So that's, I think, what's really working well in our defense. And obviously, the fact that, the team has won a trophy together with these three defenders means that they know each other really well. And communication is not poor because Smalling, Mancini and Ibanez know each other really, really well. So that's definitely what I'll say about the defense. Right, let's read some comments. If Jose wins Europa, will he stand as all-time Roma managers? Of course. I mean, I've said it in the live watch along against Verona. Jose, even with a Conference League win, is top 4 managers Roma fans will remember the most. It's Ledom first. It's Capello second, it's Spalletti third, and it's Mourinho fourth. Not even top 5, top 4. Because this really puts to mind that if you win a trophy, no matter what trophy it is, it can be the bonsai trophy friendly match we won 5 years ago against Real Madrid. It can be a Champions League, which will never happen. It will, who knows? Who knows? It could be a Serie A. No matter what you win, you're there. Top 4. And that's why it works like that when teams win an average of two trophies every 10 years. Because fans miss that. If Jose wins Europa League, bold statement, top 2 managers of all time at Roma. If Jose can deliver another trophy, 2 consecutive trophies in 2 seasons, he inevitably becomes better than Spalletti. Maybe, and if he wins the league in the 3rd year, without a doubt, best manager at Roma all time. Without a doubt. Because, you see, I think it's because Jose is such a winning person, but it's hard to win a trophy in this team. It's hard. Not many managers have done it. Like 3 managers out of how many managers did we have won trophies with this team? So, yeah. Can we all believe that if we hadn't screwed that Cremonese game in Coppa Italia, after Napoli, I freely say this, we would be one of the best Italian teams out there. After Napoli, obviously. If we hadn't screwed that Coppa Italia, we would have been 3rd in the league. Round of 16 in Europa League, quarterfinals of Coppa Italia. If we hadn't screwed that game up, no one could have said, I would have definitely told everyone, what do you want more? So yeah. Can we get Skriniar? Skriniar's gone to PSG. No more back 3. Ronaldo scored a hat-trick. Cristiano. Yeah, Skriniar is going to PSG. Already agreed to move this summer on a free transfer. So yeah, that's the situation. Smalling's close in renewing his contract. I have little doubt that Smalling will leave at the end of the season, especially after what he said. So I'm very confident that Smalling will renew his contract in these next couple of days. I'm going to end it here. I'll catch you tomorrow for the match preview of the Cremonese game. We'll be playing on Tuesday at 6:30 Italian time, 5:30 UK time. Wherever you're from, figure it out. And we'll be playing against Cremonese on Thursday away. So live watch along. Match preview tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Predicted 11. Will there be some rotations? Who knows? I'll think about my predicted 11 tonight. But it's going to be an interesting one because we've got Juventus next weekend. So I expect some rotations, but I expect 3 points too. So we can't change much. So yeah, I will catch you tomorrow. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. And what I want you to do, it's Saturday night. If you've got no plans today, what I will invite you to do is sit on your sofa, go on your TV, go on YouTube, and enjoy the last entertaining video which I posted a few hours ago. The lineup that Jose Mourinho chose against Salzburg in the first leg decided where I flew to. So if you've got no plans, if you want to chill, get a good old beer and enjoy that video. Go watch it, smash the like button in that video as well. And I'll catch you tomorrow. And yeah, Simon out. Take care.